Are you with me? Are you? Are you? Hey everybody. Actually, it's just you. It's not everybody. Well, it is everybody. I mean, this is Bill. I'm Bill Harley, and I'm supposed to be doing a show now, but I'm talking instead. But I was just thinking, isn't it really weird how we're all in these different places doing the same thing at the same time? It's more fun if we're all together, but I guess we're together here. So, I'm going to sing a song, and then I'm going to tell you the story about something that happened to me when I was growing up, because I do that a lot. And then I'll sing another song, and then that'll be it, okay? So this first song, it's a ukulele, right? My dog has fleas. I wrote this song when I was, I listened to all kinds of music. I like classical music and jazz, and I listen to folk, and I listen to rock, and I listen to all kinds of Latin music. I love Brazilian music. I listen to a lot of music from Africa. And so there's a lot of stuff that I ended up listening to, and people are singing, like Oliver Mtukudzi, who just died a little while ago from Africa. And he's got this great voice, and his music is beautiful, but I actually don't know what he's singing about. And I thought, isn't that funny how sometimes it doesn't make any difference what the words are? Just like what the words sound like, because music is really first, it's about feeling. So I thought, well, what if I wrote a song where the words didn't make any sense? And so I wrote a song, and the chorus, it's just a bunch of sounds, and the verses say something. Bella Bella Tula Monga, Bella Tula Monga say, Bella Bella Tula Monga, Tula Monga de Mane. Oh, Losa Tula Monga, Losa Monga say, Bella Bella Tula Monga, Tula Monga de Mane, Tula Monga de Mane. I know. I'm taking a walk, I'm taking my time. I got no place I got to be. I feel so good, the day is mine. Singing this song that comes to me. I'm singing this song that comes to me. And I sing Bella Bella Tula Monga, Bella Tula Monga say, Bella Bella Tula Monga, Tula Monga de Mane. Oh, Losa Tula Monga, Losa Monga say, Bella Bella Tula Monga, Tula Monga de Mane, Tula Monga de Mane. What I'm singing makes no sense. It's just a bunch of words I found. It's just about the way I feel. I just like the way they sound. I just like the way they sound when I sing Bella Bella Tula Monga, Bella Tula Monga say, Bella Bella Tula Monga, Tula Monga de Mane. Oh, Losa Tula Monga, Losa Monga say, Bella Bella Tula Monga, Tula Monga de Mane, Tula Monga de Mane. Bad. Better. I need Andy off at Irwin singing with me, or whistling. I see the colors all around me. I hear the world the colors bring. The dance of life, it all surrounds me. I can't help it if I sing. I can't help it if I sing. And I sing Bella Bella Tula Monga, Bella Tula Monga say, Bella Bella Tula Monga, Tula Monga de Mane. Oh, Losa Tula Monga, Losa Monga say, Bella Bella Tula Monga, Tula Monga de Mane, Tula Monga de Mane. Oh, Losa Tula Monga, Losa Monga say, Bella Bella Tula Monga, Tula Monga de Mane. money, Tula Monga de money. Okay, well there you go. The words don't make any sense and the whistling was bad. It was working before. How are you, everybody? Are you okay? Here we are. It's getting hot. I haven't been swimming yet. I'm going a little bit crazy, but I'm thinking it's going to happen this week. That's my plan. But this week I took a bunch of bike rides. It was great. I had Father's Day. I hope you guys were nice to your dads. And I saw both my sons on Father's Day, which was really nice. And they're both still talking to me, and they're all grown up, so that's a good thing. And we're starting to eat stuff from the garden. This morning Debbie picked some spinach and some lettuce and some peas, and the broccoli's growing, and the blueberries are beginning to turn colors, and the raspberries are growing on the bushes, and the bees are visiting all of them. So around here things are kind of hopping. I've got some birthdays. If you've got a birthday coming and you want me to announce it, or you have a friend or someone in your family that you want to surprise with a birthday wish, not just from you, then go to my website and click on the mini concert page and tell me when it is in the next couple weeks, and I'll let you know. So today, Matthew Martin turns 6. Matthew, are you watching? Raise your hand. Matthew, say I'm here. Okay. June 23rd. Okay, that is today. And his mom wrote, and his mom Kira wrote, and she told me that she has been listening to me ever since the whole time growing up, and now she's all grown up, and that every night she and Martin listen to Matthew Martin, Luke and John. No. Matthew, you listen to my CDs every night or the Facebook concert. So Matthew, I hope you're having a good day, all right? And also Alton turns 10 on the 24th. So Alton, you out there? I like 10. As a matter of fact, this story, I guess it happened after 4th grade, before I turned, just as I was turning 10. I think 10's great. Because you're smart now, right? And you can read stuff for yourself. So anyway, happy birthday. Let me see. Okay, I want to hear about your good things. I told you about mine. I haven't heard any, so send me a note. So, here we go. A lot of people have asked for this story, and I've been putting it off because I haven't told it for a long time. It's all up in here. Somebody wrote on my Facebook page, but I know it's in there somehow in your brain. And stories are like that. Once you tell them a number of times, they're like old friends. And once you start to tell them, you start to remember things. So anyway, when I was a kid, kids generally, especially when they're younger, they like to put on plays and stand in front of people and do things. Not all kids, but almost all kids. They like to stand and do things and have everybody yay and applaud, like jokes. Like when a kid learns a joke, like there's a little kid who learns a joke, and then they tell it in front of people, and then people laugh, and that's really great, right? So then they just tell the same joke over and again, and then the grown-ups laugh, and then they tell it again, and they just keep telling it because people laugh. It's nice to have something like that. But then after a while, most kids stop. But I didn't. I mean, look at me now. Right? I still loved it. I loved to tell stories when I was in front of people and to make up plays. And so did my friend Glenn. And as we got older, our plays and the stories we told became more and more elaborate. And we told stories like we would watch the show that was on The Twilight Zone, and we would tell stories about the evil villains or the strange aliens or the bank robbers, and our stories would get longer and longer and longer, and then we would make the adults listen, and the adults would go, okay, is this going to be over soon? And he'd say, yeah, and then, and for some reason at a certain point, the grown-ups just didn't want to hear it anymore. We thought our stories were better. They'd say, this story's too long, but they were wrong because the story was just as long as it needed to be. So we would make up these elaborate stories. But our greatest story, the greatest play we ever put on, was also the last play we put on. It was The Battle of the Mad Scientists. Dr. Dastard meets Signor Slamovsky. It was a great play. It was the first play we actually charged for, and it was the first play that we actually had other actors in it other than just Glenn and I. And it was also the first play which at the end of the first act, everybody got up and screamed and ran away. It all started when Glenn and I went to the movies. I lived on the north side of Indianapolis, and on Saturdays during the summer, we would walk down College Avenue, and we would walk over the bridge, over the White River Bridge on College, and we would walk into Broad Ripple. And at Broad Ripple, there was a theater there. It's still, actually, I was there a little while ago, and I saw, I don't know what's in the theater now. I think maybe it's a club or something, but it was called the Vogue Theater. And for 25 cents, you could watch the Saturday matinee. So one Saturday, Glenn and I, we walked down the street, we walked over the bridge, over the White River, we walked into Broad Ripple, we came to the Vogue Theater, and we paid our 25 cents to see Lawrence of Arabia. And I had saved all this money. It was only 25 cents, but I had a couple dollars in my pocket. And so we got in there, even before we went into the movie theater, which is it's good to go in because it was nice and cool on a hot Indianapolis afternoon. And I bought some soda pop, and I bought some popcorn, and I bought some, Glenn bought Junior Mints, and I didn't like Junior Mints, so I bought Milk Duds. I liked Milk Duds. And by the time we got in there were so many people in there, we had to sit in the far front, like in the first row, looking up at the screen. Have you ever done that? Are you with me? Like this? By the end of the movie, you got a sore neck? And by the time the movie was about to start, with all the promos and everything like that, I had finished the Milk Duds, so I went out and I bought another box. I got some more soda pop. And then the movie started. And in Lawrence of Arabia, it wasn't really a kid's movie, but they let us watch it anyway. The first thing that happens in Lawrence of Arabia is Lawrence is on a motorcycle. I think, what's he doing on a motorcycle if he's in Arabia? But he's a motorcycle, and there's a motorcycle accident. And I thought, oh my gosh, because we saw the motorcycle going over the road, and I felt like I was in a motorcycle accident, and a motorcycle too, and there was an accident, and he crashed, and he died. And I thought, well, that's a weird way for a movie to start. The person the movie's about dies right away? That's strange. And then the next thing that happened was all these grown-ups standing around and talking for 10 or 15 minutes. Which I was not interested in, so I went back to the snack bar. And I got some more popcorn, I got some more soda pop, I got another box of candy. I came and sat down. I kept going up and getting down, because my mother wasn't there. My father wasn't there. There was nobody monitoring me. I could do whatever I wanted. And in the middle of the movie, now Lawrence is riding around in the desert on camels and was really thirsty, so I got up and got some more soda pop. And the movie went on forever and ever, and finally it finished. And we walked out into the hot, blinding sun, and Glenn said, let's go get an ice cream at the drugstore, because the drugstore right around the corner had a soda fountain. I said, great. We got to the drugstore, and I reached in my pocket for money, and there was none left. I couldn't believe it. I said, Glenn, I spent more money on the food than I did on the movie. Are you with me? And Glenn said, I've got a great idea. I said, what? He said, we're going to put on a play, and we'll charge for the play, but we're going to sell stuff as refreshments. We'll make millions. I said, that is a brilliant idea. We weren't worried about the play. The big question was, what were we going to sell as refreshments to make money? So we each went back to our own houses to look for something to eat. Now, the problem with our house was my mom had a theory about food, which I might have talked about before, which is that her theories about food is this: if she bought food, then we would eat it, and she would have to buy more. So why buy any food? So I was looking for something decent that we could sell as a refreshment. And I said, Mom, what can we sell as a refreshment for the play? She said, well, why don't you make little peanut butter sandwiches? And I said, no offense, Mom, but that's a dumb idea. No offense. I don't know where I had learned that. But somehow it excused whatever you said. And then, no offense, like, don't get upset about it. So it was like I could say anything you want. No offense, but that's really dumb. And it would be okay. But my mom wasn't impressed. She said, no offense, you'll have to find something on your own. And she left. So I went outside like I was going to do something else, but then I snuck back inside and I started to climb up on the shelves, thinking there must be something hidden here. And I found it. Are you with me? I remember I was standing on the counter by the sink and I pulled open the cupboard and I saw there was a mixing bowl up there and I reached in and there were bags. It's a plastic bag and I pulled it. I couldn't believe it. It was 2 plastic bags of circus peanuts. Do you know what circus peanuts are? They're not so popular anymore, but they were very popular when I was a kid, and I'm not sure why. They came in this big bag, or you could buy them in little bags too, but these were big, like 1-pound bags of circus peanuts, and they were not peanuts. They were marshmallows, kind of, but I'm not even sure they were marshmallows, and they were orange, and they were shaped a little like peanuts. They were flat on the bottom, and they had little crinkles on the top, looked like a peanut shell. They were about this big, and they were orange, and they were made of some kind of marshmallow, and they had a flavor that everyone said was supposed to be banana. But I don't know what it was. What were they doing up there? Maybe they were for some party that my mom was going to give me, but then she decided I didn't deserve it. But there they were. And you know what I did? I took them. I stole the circus peanuts from my mother. I actually thought I was safe because I could not imagine having her hand them out at a cocktail party. You know, here, would you like some circus peanuts with some onion dip? I grabbed them, I stuffed them under my shirt, I ran out in the garage, I ran across the street, I pounded on the door. Glenn said, what is it? I said, Glenn, look! I said, circus peanuts! He said, circus peanuts! Well, 3 for a nickel, we'll make millions! Now, we were set. Next thing we had to do, of course, was make the play. But we weren't worried about the play. The play was easy. Getting the peanuts was the hard thing. And a couple days later, we came up with the idea for the play. We were in Glenn's room, and we were playing with something that we had created. And maybe you have created it too. And I want to tell you that I wanted to make some right before the show started, but I went in the kitchen when Debbie wasn't there, and I could not find the cornstarch. There may be cornstarch in there, but she has hidden it from me. Goop. I don't know what you call it. We call it goop or some weird concoction. Have you ever made this with cornstarch and water? You have to do this, okay? So you take some cornstarch, you put it in a bowl, and you start to add water, and you keep mixing and mixing until it's like a liquid. And then you put it in a jar, and you shake it up. And then you open the jar up, and you pour it out, and it oozes out across the table. The kind of thing that if your mother or father or grandmother or babysitter or somebody in charge didn't know, they'd say, "You're making a mess!" And you go, "Ha ha ha!" And then you pick it up. You can pick it up, even though it's a liquid, and put it back in the jar. And that's what we were playing with. It's good. You can pour it on, you can pour it on the table, you can pour it on the floor, but don't put it on the computer, and don't put it on your brother's head. And I'm telling you that because you'll get in trouble. It won't be my fault because I told you not to do it. Okay? So that's what we were doing. And I grabbed a hold of the jar and I said, "Aha! I am Senor Slimovsky, an alien from the planet Bordak, disguised as a mild-mannered scientist. With my concoction, I will rule the world." And before I could say anything else, Glenn grabbed a hold of the jar and said, "No! I am Dr. Dastard! I am not appreciated for my genius, and I will destroy the world. No, I will destroy the world. No offense, but you are a worm. No offense, but you are a snake. No offense, but I will destroy you. No offense," I said, "but this is going to be a great play The battle of the mad scientists. Dr. Dastard against Signor Slimovsky. Are you with me? So over the next couple of days, we came up with a play. And I have to tell you, as I was thinking about this, I wrote this, I made up the story, or I came up with the story, remembering what had happened years ago. And now, since I've studied theater more, I realized that what Glenn and I were doing was what Commedia dell'arte troupes do all the time. In Commedia dell'arte, they have these characters that act out their parts, and they're always the same. And before the play, they decide what the scenes are, and they don't write everything out. They just write out what's going to happen on the scene, and they stick it up on the wall backstage, and in between each scene, they look at the next scene. And that's exactly what we did. We came up with a bunch of scenes of Dr. Dastard and Signor Slimovsky. In the first scene, we meet on a dark street corner and decide to join forces. And then a passerby comes by, and we practice and turn him into a frog. In the next scene, we decide to rob a bank, and we turn the bank guard into stone. And the next one, we rob Fort Knox, where all the gold of the United States is, and we turn the general into a mouse. And the next scene, we free all the children from an elementary school and turn the principal into gorilla. And then the next scene, before the end of the first act, we have an argument. We have an argument, and we vow that we will destroy each other, and that's the end of the first act. And the whole second act is us and our battle against each other. It was perfect. It was going to work. There was only one problem. We needed victims. We needed other characters in the play. This was the first play where we were doing something to somebody else. And so we had to find other actors. And so we rode around the neighborhood. We told all our friends. And in this neighborhood, there were 35, 40 kids. All of these kids packed in these houses on top of each other. We said, we're going to have a play, and you can be in it. We told them all to show up the next day, and we would explain the play. So the next morning, a dozen kids in the neighborhood showed up. We said, we're going to show you the play. And we began to act it out. Ah, no offense, but you are a worm. No offense, but you're a snake. No offense, I will turn you into a slug. No offense, I will turn you into a platypus. Ha ha. And we finished it. We said, what do you think? And they looked at us like we were crazy. And so we acted again. And they didn't say anything. They didn't think the funny parts were funny. They didn't think the scary parts were scary. And Todd Layton, our sworn enemy, said, no offense, but your play is dumb. And everybody got on their bikes and left. Everybody. Everybody. Except Glenn's little brother, Philip. Hi, Philip, if you're watching this. And he might be. Philip was about 4 years old, and he was always there. He was always there. He's always following us around wherever we went, parroting whatever we say. He said, no offense, but I'm hungry. I mean, he didn't even know what no offense meant. We didn't want him to be in the play, but he went in and told his mother, and then Glenn's mother came out and said, Philip has to be in the play. He said, no, he's going to ruin the play. He said, no, you have to take care of him. He's in the play. He was our only option. We didn't have anybody else, and we had to have somebody that we were going to turn into frogs and stone and mice and do horrible things to. So Philip became all of the characters. He became the passerby, he became the guard, he became the policeman, he became the general, he became the principal. But the problem with Philip was he was just learning language, and he couldn't remember very much. So we decided we were just going to give him one word that he had to say. Right before he would come out, and right before we were about to destroy him, we'd say, aha! And you would turn you into a mouse. And then he would turn into a mouse, and he would say, I'm ruined! And leave. But the problem with Philip was he was learning to speak, and he had a hard time with his R's. So he did not say, I'm ruined. When we told him to say, I'm ruined, he said, I'm wuined. And Glenn said, no, not ruined, 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 ruined. Ah! It drove us crazy. We'd say, stop it, I'm ruined. He started to say, no offense, but I'm ruined. It drove us crazy. I said, he's going to ruin the play. Glenn said, don't worry, it's just a little part. We continued to plan. We started to look for props because we know in a play, the more props you have, the better it is. So we collected all sorts of props. We made a bank vault of cardboard and we spray painted it. We cut a little door so we could open it up and take all the gold out. And we found costumes. Glenn's dad was a doctor, so we found some scrubs and we found some lab coats and we found a clown, a bright red clown thing that one of us was going to use, Senor Slamovsky was going to use as a wig. And we put it on his head and we practiced. And Philip kept saying, I'm ruined! And we said, ruined! And he said, ruined! 2 days before, we made posters. We run around and we hung up on the telephone posts. The Battle of the Mad Scientists, Bill Harley and Glenn Gardner. Senior Slamovsky versus Dr. Dastard. We went around and knocked on doors and told everybody they had to come. 25 cents, we decided. We are worth it. We even talked to Mrs. Nottingham, our third grade teacher, who lived at the end of the street. So that Saturday morning, the play was going to be at 10 o'clock. We went out in Glenn's garage. We lifted up the garage door. We got some posts. We got an old green curtain. We hung it up as a backdrop. And then we put all our props back in there. And we got an old picnic basket. And we took those 2 pounds of the circus peanuts and we poured them into the basket. And Philip came out and he said, what are those? We said, they're the refreshments. Refreshments! He said, don't touch them. What are they? They're refreshments! And then we rode around the neighborhood telling people about it. When we got back, we went backstage and Philip was eating the circus peanuts. We said, don't eat those. He said, they're good. Don't eat them. Refreshments. Stop it. 10 minutes before the play, people started to show up. We had a coffee can. We had set up lawn chairs for the adults and blankets for the kids to sit on right in the driveway. More and more people came. We started to collect the coins. We came back behind the stage, and there was Philip eating the circus peanuts. Stop that! They're good! Don't eat those! Those are the refreshments! Refreshments, he said. We counted at the money. Someone had given us a $1 bill. We had to make change. We had over $3 in change. We couldn't believe it. We were getting paid to do something we loved to do. Finally, we were ready. We went backstage, and Philip wasn't there. I said, where's Philip? Glenn looked around the curtain. Philip was sitting in the front row. I said, Philip, what are you doing there? I want to watch a play. No, you're in the play. Get back here. I don't want to. You're in the play. You can't watch it and be in it at the same time. So he got up and came back. Glenn and I went out and we introduced the play. We introduced who we were and that we were both co-starring and what the play was about. And we said, we hope you enjoy the play. Now we have to get dressed. And we went backstage and there was Philip eating the circus peanuts. Don't eat those. The play started. Senior Slamovsky and Dr. Dastard met each other in a dark corner. Philip's line, when he was supposed to come out, I was supposed to say, we'll wait for a fool to pass by. And the time came for that line. I said, we'll wait for a fool to pass by. Philip didn't come. I said it again. We'll wait for a fool to pass by. Where is he? I looked behind the curtain. He was eating the circus peanuts. I said, Philip, it's your turn. Don't eat those. I went back out and said it again. We'll wait for a fool to pass by. Philip came out from behind the curtain and people applauded. And Philip looked up. He had never had that many people look at him before. And Dr. Dastard said, "Ah, here is a fool now. We will turn you into a frog." Philip looks at him and he says, "No offense, but you're crazy. I'm not scared of you." What? That was not in a play. People started to laugh. We said, "Nah, we'll turn you into a frog." Poof! And Philip said, "Ah, ah, 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 ah." And he went down on all fours and he said, "I'm ruined!" And hopped away, and the crowd went crazy. Someone in the back called, "I'm ruined!" Somebody in the front said, "I'm ruined too!" We went back behind the curtain. We said, "That's it." Glenn said, "You're not supposed to be funny." He said, "Can I watch a play?" I said, "No! And don't be so funny and don't make up lines." The next play, we were going to rob the bank. We came around one side. We set up the bank, the cardboard. We said, "Here is the bank." And just then, the guard shows up. "Philip, but he's got a squirt gun." "He's not supposed to have a squirt gun." He said, "No offense, but you can't rob my bank." And he squirted us. That was definitely not in the play. We said, "Aha, we'll turn you into stone." And Philip said, "Oh, I'm ruined." The crowd went crazy. A half dozen kids started shouting, "I'm ruined too! I'm ruined too!" Philip staggered off the stage like his legs were these slabs of granite behind the curtain. We came back and said, "Stop being funny and put those circus peanuts down." The next one was even worse. We turned the general into a mouse, and he went running through the crowd going, "I'm ruined, squeak, squeak, I'm ruined." Even Mrs. Nottingham was laughing. The play was being ruined. Our beautiful play. We met backstage, and Glenn said, "We're skipping the next play with the principal." He said, "No, Gorilla, no, Gorilla, you stay back here." We decided to skip right to the argument between Senior Slamowski and Dr. Dastard. We went out and started fighting, yelling at each other. "You are a vast ocean, unmitigated incompetence. I will wreak my vengeance upon your miserable existence. No offense, but you have the intellect of a paramecium. No offense, but you have the comprehension of an amoeba." End of Act 1. We walked backstage. There was Philip sitting on the ground. Glenn said, "Go out there and tell him that's the end of the first act, and that we're going to bring out refreshments now." And that was the first time I really took a close look at Philip. He didn't look so good. He was sitting by the picnic basket. There were only 5 or 6 circus peanuts left in it. He said, "I don't feel good." But Glenn was furious. He said, "Get out there right now. Get out there and say thank you. We hope you enjoy the show. And here come the refreshments." So he walked out. And as soon as he walked out, people started to applaud and say, "I'm ruined. I'm ruined." We waited for him to make the announcement. But he wasn't speaking. We heard when someone say, "It's okay, Philip." I looked behind and said, "Philip, make the announcement." Everyone was looking at him with this concern on their faces. He was about the color of the green shower curtain. And he said, "No offense. We hope you like the play. I think..." And then he let out this long liquid burr. But he was a trooper. I mean, I think the play was really, and then it all came out, and it was astounding. And then more and more. Who knew how many he had eaten? And the audience was stunned to silence. I mean, it was one thing to watch someone throw up, but it was another thing to see a bright orange river flow from someone's mouth. And as the third one came up, people started to scream. And they all got up and they grabbed their lawn chairs and they said, "No!" And they ran down the driveway. All of them left. And we ran and said, come back. The play's just starting. The best part is about to happen." But they were all gone. All gone. Our play. Our beautiful play. Ruined. We looked at Philip. He wiped his mouth and said, "Oh, I feel better." We got on our bikes and rode around the neighborhood. Every time we'd find a kid, we'd say, "Come back and see the second act." Everyone said, "No, we've had enough." They kept asking if Philip was all right. Todd Layton, our sworn enemy, said, "I'm wooing." We got back to Glenn's house. There were 2 6-year-olds there. One of them left halfway through the second act. The other one, at the end of the play, asked if he could be Philip in the next play. Our play, wuined. We counted all the money up. It came into the house. Glenn said to his mom, "The whole play's ruined. Philip ruined the whole thing. We only made $3. She said, "You made $3? Just over." She said, "Well, I want you to give $1 to Philip." What? He was in your plate? Mom, he ruined the plate. The poor boy, he's sick. He ate too many peanuts. You shouldn't have let him. Mom! Give him the $1. Oh! We walked into the backyard and there he was on the swing set. Not swinging, mind you. No, he was lying on the swing, his belly on the swing, and he was turning the swing around and around until it would unwind, and then he would spin it around the other way. Glenn came up to him and said, "Here's your dumb $1." Philip said, "Really?" He said, "Here, you ruined the whole play." Philip said, "No offense, but when's the next one?" And Glenn said, "No offense, but never." And Philip said what his mother often said, "No offense, but never is a very long time." There you go. So, I told you another. I have a couple more long stories about Glenn, and his wonderful family. Actually, I'll have to tell the story about the first night that Glenn and I slept outside. Grandma versus the headless man. That's another story to tell. And then there's one about the. I don't think I've told the story on Facebook about field trip either. Yeah. That's really a story about Glenn's house. I call up, so Philip is real. Glenn is real. I called up once to talk to Philip about his story, and I said, "I'm afraid I might have made it really wild." And he said, "Oh no, Bill, it was wilder than that." So, I'm going to do one more song for you. And I'll be back on Thursday. I haven't decided what I'm going to tell. It's kind of interesting. We're doing the deep tracks now. So listen, if you listen to Spotify or Pandora, my stuff is on there. And if you go there and follow me, that'll let you know. And as I put other stuff up, you'll be able to track that too, other songs and stories, and we'll get more stuff up there. You can check out these shows on Facebook Live, and you can also find them on YouTube. If you want to make a donation, I'll go around with my coffee can, just like we did. I have to tell you, sometimes when I'm doing a show, because I work with so many community groups, the person who organized the show is out front trying to get the volunteers to sell the tickets, you know. And I'm backstage stage getting the sound ready, and we're both running around, and every once in a while we meet. Okay, you do this, you introduce me, and I'll do this. It's just the same. It's just the same. If you put on plays, why don't you let me know, okay? Let me know the kind of plays that you guys do. Or I was thinking, you know, that whole thing I said about jokes, about like when a little kid finds a knock knock joke, they just tell it and tell it and tell it. So if you get a good knock knock joke, send it to me, and maybe we'll just read a bunch of knock knock jokes next time around. Anything else? Those of you who have thrown some dollars into the coffee can, we really appreciate that. If you send me $500, I'll send you a bag of peanuts. No. I actually went online today to see if circus peanuts are around, and evidently they still are, believe it or not. So we're going to finish up the song. This song was written by Jan Nigro. His group is called Vitamin L. I don't know if they're still around. I imagine they are, from the Ithaca area. And this is a song I have sung for years and years. And I love the song and I love what it says. I'll actually teach you, there's a clapping thing. Okay, I want you to clap twice after I sing the word walk. So about like this. I want to walk. Okay, all right. I want to walk. Okay, now I want you to clap twice after I sing the word shoes. But not the first time I sing the word shoes, the second time I sing the word shoes. Before I sing shoes the second time, I'm going to sing walk the second time, but I don't want you to clap on walk the second time, I'll only walk the first time and shoes the second time. You got it? Okay. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. No. No, 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 no. Second time I say shoes. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to walk up. No, 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 not on that walk, on the first walk, and the second shoes, the first walk. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to know what you're thinking, how you feel, so I really want to walk a mile in your shoes. Okay, that's your part. Remember the fight that we had. Why do we both have to lose? Because we both walked away mad instead of walking a mile in each other's shoes. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to know what you're thinking, how you feel, so I really want to walk a mile in your shoes. You hear how the world's such a mess whenever you turn on the news. Don't I know it? The countries could find happiness if they'd be walking a mile in each other's shoes. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to know what you're thinking, how you feel, so I really want to walk a mile in your shoes. Tempers start to cool down. Frown turns into a smile. Anger cannot be found when you're wearing those shoes and you're walking that mile. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to know what you're thinking, how you feel, so I really want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to walk a mile in your shoes. I want to know what you're thinking, how you feel, so I really want to walk a mile in your shoes. Yes, I do. And I hope you walk in somebody else's shoes too. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll be back on Thursday. So long.